Yes, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Welcome to a live episode of our podcast, The Garage. Um, Joining us tonight, we have Odin, the girls, Sugar, myself, Michael. Jabbar and Michael Porter will be joining us later. So, our topic of discussion tonight is uh, diplomatic chaos in the White House. When was that? Yesterday? Yesterday, yeah. Odin, you have to come off of the phone still.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, you have to go come off of the phone. Yeah, so yesterday, the president of Ukraine visited the White House for to sign a contract. Odin. To sign a contract.
Yeah.
In the contract, it states that the U.S. Government will own 50% of the minerals in Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay.
Right, and that would be their protection for the country. So I guess the Ukraine president was not pleased. President Zelensky, and it was like a shouting match between both president and our vice president JD Vance.
Sure.
So what's his name? President Trump stated that what he wants is a ceasefire agreement between Zelensky and Putin. Yeah, he wants peace. He doesn't want to keep funding one side of the war, which is Ukraine inside. Yeah, he wants peace. So what do you think about that? Audience?
When we think about the whole situation, why?
Talk to me and I'll pay my mind, man.
So the whole thing I go on with the war. I think the war is a bad thing for
And this been taking place from
I think
2022.
2022. War is a good and a bad thing, but with the funding thing, where America really don't have the funds for distribute like that. So
They say America doesn't have the
they
funds.
don't have the funds like that.
I mean, we print money, so
Yeah, but really and truly, yeah, fund so much money in a war, it don't really make no sense when so much people out there dead for hungry.
true.
That's how me look on it. There's a lot of people out there. It don't make no sense. Whole of innocent people are get dead in a war.
Let I go wait in the
Wow.
have to pause it.
Yeah, what may I say? That don't make no sense still.
Right. So the president is basically saying the same thing. Most people disagree with the president. They said the president was being disrespectful because he was shouting at President Zelensky.
Zelensky.
Yeah. I mean, these stuff do happen off camera. We're not new to this because we're from the island of Jamaica, and
True.
at Jamaica House, the
Whole heap of shouting
what you
going.
call it, ministers in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
The ministers, they do that amongst each other all the time
True.
on TV. So that's nothing new to us. But I've never seen this in the White House before, or in front of the press. I think that should have been discussed off camera and not
But
on
the
camera.
whole thing start because how much half of the mineral.
No, so that was the reason for the meeting, right? So what President Trump's want, right? Or this administration, they want the war to end, cease and desist, right? A ceasefire. They think it's a waste of time. You guys are just like killing each other, right now, and it's bad for business also. And
True,
Trump
true.
is a businessman, right? But it seems like the president of Ukraine, he wants the the American
Government to fund
government
them
to continue
to fund
funding
him.
them, right?
Okay.
Because under the Joe Biden administration, they sent over 300 billion to Ukraine. And I keep wondering, like, when the money goes to Ukraine, what do they use the money for? Like,
I
where
mean,
does it go?
I guess you go to like ammunition and them stuff. To buy
Three
like
hundred billion.
yeah, like ammunition, tankers, stuff like those.
Yeah, but you don't have the body. Cause we're not sending soldiers.
Mm-mm. No, said no.
We're sending. Alright, so we make all these ammunitions and equipments for war. Why not send that? Why send the money?
But I don't think they really send the money. I think they just send the
To the government contractors?
yeah, to the government contractors to fund them with whatever.
No, $300 billion is a lot of money still.
That whatever money is.
Yeah.
That 300 billion gonna feed a lot of people. Home, give people a lot of homes, which don't make no sense. To me, it don't make no sense.
So you're agreeing with President Trump?
Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Because this whole war thing don't make no sense when so much people are suffering. You fund them billions and billions of dollars. Even America, you have people who suffer, homeless people.
Yeah.
Take that same money and give them somewhere to live, and you know.
Yeah. I mean, we can say whatever we want to say.
It's up to them still.
Yeah, here in America, we could say whatever we want
Sure.
because it's not really affecting us directly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like directly, we ain't hiding from bombs and stuff like that, drones and stuff like that. So it doesn't affect us that way. Financially, it affects us because it's taxpayers' funds,
Sure.
right? Next thing is if you when you watch it, if you haven't watched it already, I think like but Zelensky, what he did was disrespectful. 'Cause he was telling President Trump one of the time that this will come to you eventually. The war will come to you eventually. And President Trump is like, no, don't tell us what's gonna happen here. What we're trying to prevent is World War III.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to avoid that because you want to be a part of NATO, and if you become a part of NATO, we have no choice but to engage in the war, and that creates World War III. But he's not for that. He's like, listen, we just want to end the war, like yesterday.
True.
So you need to strike a deal with President Putin and end this. We're not funding you anymore. We're not sending you no more money. So if you don't talk to President Putin and end this war, you're on your own. And you're not gonna do so well. Those were his exact words, Yeah. Mike, you have a mic?
So here's the thing. We basically we are feeling the pain from all this nonsense from this war started. We are feeling the pain financially, and that's the most critical thing. Financially, this country is feeling it, and us taxpayers are feeling it. I don't see why we had to send. So I blame the U.S. to a certain extent because the U.S. always want to seem that they are the big dog. They, everything they want to shoulder.
I wouldn't say the U.S. because the current administration is the U.S.
What?
The current administration
Is what?
that's the U.S. and they don't support it.
There's something wrong with him. Anyway, we're moving right along.
Say the
The farmer government.
yeah, which was Democrats.
Let me
The
reiterate.
Democratic administration.
Let me articulate.
They supported the war. They supported the war financially, but not physically. They did not send troops, but they sent funds. I mean, if you really wanted to support the war, I think manpower would be the best option, right? Because it's a physical war, no? It's not a financial war.
True.
So sending billions and billions and billions of dollars, what good was that gonna do?
As I said before, the government and the U.S. government at the end of the day has a lot to blame for it. Whether it's this president or the president before, the leadership of this country is suck. Their priority is screwed up. Now, I applaud some of the things what Trump is doing.
Say that again.
I applaud of some of the things what Trump is doing. At the end of the day, you know that I am not biased. So I speak straight and direct without no side corner unlike yourself.
You have to calm down.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Trump is doing some stuff which I applaud. However, his dictatorship and controlling mindset are his behavior is still there.
Why?
Now, let's come back to the contents of what we are talking about. The issue is that this government, which is trying to rectify the problem. Now, here's the thing. He's trying to solve this solution and create another mess over here internally, right? So the mess meaning like he's trying. There's a lot of waste going on inside of the government, which he's also cutting, which is another thing I applaud. But when he has these big dogs and these wolf dogs, what he putting in power, trying to create these mess, shutting down certain departments, firing certain people at the end of the day. No, I can understand that he cutting out like these sponsorship going to Israel.
It's called
what is it called Australia for gay what they call it the shows
opera.
or whatever, opera and stuff. I can understand that, but when you start firing people because of your behavior, in sense of he's trying to get people who were along with 20 the riot that happened in 2020. There are a lot of people he's trying to target, which he tried to make his promise that he's going to go after these people. And because nobody is word I'm looking for, nobody's fessing up. So for him now to find these individuals, he started firing people left and right and putting all type of crap policy in place that, we are cutting back and stuff like that. There's thousands of people who overseas helping others, countries Ethiopia and other countries who are suffering, where these people over there helping. He cutting these type of funds. For what? At the end of the day, so
what who's referring to is Doge department, right?
Doge and others.
Department of
pretty much
Government
Doge.
Efficiency. So there's a website, you could go to the website. It's doge.com, right? And you'll see what department they're shutting down and why they're closing the department, right?
The CIA, you're trying to fire people from the CIA and the FBI, really, Mike?
That's what they said?
Yes. Are you listening to the news, or you just you just listening to the news, or you just watching what in your mind?
But even
No, I said there's a website. They have a website that you could go to and you could see what they're cutting back on.
You're not
Right,
into
right,
what's
so
going
I'm on the website now, right?
But as a thing like CDC, why would you shut that down?
He sent out this nincompoop sent out email that if you don't respond to us by the ending of say Friday,
I have
saying
some
what
respect
you
for
did,
the president.
including the FBI department, the CIA department, the State Department, and so on and so on. If you don't respond to us by a certain time that you did what you did last week, pretending to work, you're fired. Now, this is what these morons are doing. And I don't believe Mike is sitting here watching TV or watching the news or listening to the news.
No, I'm not watching the news.
Exactly.
I'm not watching the news.
So if you saw all of this stuff there, I know for sure that your comment would be different.
So,
Because
what?
there's
What?
no way you
What?
can sit there and support this foolishness what these guys are doing.
What foolishness?
I just explained. You see what I'm talking about?
I said they have a website that you could go to, and they explain into details what
We're
department.
not talking about that. We are talking about what
CIA,
exactly.
I mean, they're trying to cut the workforce for the CIA. So what? That is. I mean, it
And
happened.
the FBI and the State Department.
What?
Really?
What? They're not closing down the department.
They're not closing. They're
completely,
closing. They're getting rid of people. And here
Yeah.
are they getting rid of people. If you don't respond to his memo, what he sent out saying that you have to tell me what you did last week.
Let
right?
me tell you this, Mike.
You have to tell me what you did last week, and if you do not respond to me, to us or to him, that you were doing some state work on whatever. If you don't respond in that way, you are fired.
So, Odin, the organization that we work for, right? We have a boss, right? And when he sends out certain email, we have to respond to it.
True.
Is what I'm
And
telling
he
you?
makes it clear.
Is what I'm telling you. In government history, when you have heard something like that, we
work for the government.
I'm
We work for
asking
the
you a
government.
question. When you have heard anything like that from a broad scale like this, some new department come in and try to
right.
demand workers who are doing legitimate work, right? Because you want to
It's called changing of the guard. So there's a new administration, and they're gonna come with a new way of
New
governing, or a new way of managing. It's natural. It's normal. It's just like where we're from in Jamaica. When the People's National Party is in power, you notice principal of schools start changing. Certain government department.
Change everything.
Yeah, everything changes. It's normal. I mean, everybody knows this.
Again, things are natural and things are normal. Government, leaderships, management and stuff like that gonna revise certain things what the manager used to do and stuff like that. But this is crossed the borderline. This is foolishness. Again, you're challenging the State Department. You're challenging the CIA. You're challenging the FBI. You're challenging the Pentagon. You're challenging all these workers that doing legitimate work for the government and telling them that if they don't respond to, they have managers, right? They have managers, they have supervisors and stuff like that in their local department. Why this moron want to response from when they have managers who can control these sectors, can control this avenue, which they do. But this moron, because he power oriented.
When you say moron, what are you referring to?
Who else I'm talking about?
I don't know. I'm asking.
You want me to spell it out?
No.
You're richest fella in the world, according to you. Moron Elon. Clearly.
Have some respect for Elon.
You see?
Now, I mean, I personally like Elon, and I think he's a good businessman.
He's an arrogant, self-centered,
I
seeded.
think he's a super genius. I think he's a smart guy.
I am not disputing his knowledge. I'm not taking that away from
So
him.
you keep saying the guy is ignorant and he's a moron.
I didn't say ignorant.
Moron.
Arrogant. Big difference.
he's-
Ignorant, we all here are ignorant. We absent from knowledge. We
you
all
say
are
he's
ignorant.
arrogant
He's a
and
very
and
arrogant,
he's a moron.
self-centered, conceited,
So who's a
power-hungry individual.
Who's a moron?
What?
Who's a moron?
You know what? I'm not going to even debate with this. Let's move on. Let's move on.
There's a
Because
question I want to ask, right?
Close to them.
So this man is not an American.
Can't hold it, right?
He's an American.
American
Elon-
where?
Yeah, he is.
Where?
Are you an American?
If me American,
Yeah.
no.
You're not?
I
No.
think
What
he
are
should.
you?
He actually already working
What
for
are
the
you?
government. I think
I'm
he
a
should go.
Jamaican.
You're a natural citizen. You're a natural born citizen. Put it that way.
Yeah, but he's a not.
He's not a natural born citizen.
Oh, that's the question.
If he's a natural born,
No, I
put it
think
this
he
way,
was
he
born
wasn't,
in
he
South
wasn't
Africa.
born
Hey,
here.
he's South African.
Yeah, he wasn't
So-
born here.
So hold on. So how him in a parliament?
Well, you can't. The only thing you can't do if you wasn't born here was you can't become the president.
President,
of the
yeah,
United
you can go to different departments.
States. Yeah, but you could be a government official, but you can't obtain presidential status.
Okay.
Right.
Like all this stuff what Trump is trying to put in place, which is the birthright.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Alana, and all of them need to take their behind back to where they're coming from, including this moron Trump.
Right. So listen to
Elon.
this, right? Those department canceled a contract yesterday for $60 million, right?
Yeah.
With a total saving of $60 million. Termination of wasteful contract now surpasses 300,000 department, right? So this includes a contract for lavar fish monitoring. So they're giving out $60 million a year to a department that studies fish, right? Or fish monitoring. Does that make sense to you?
They must spend all that money.
But that's what this department is doing. Sending money to, what do you call this place? Uganda. They send what? Next, like $70 million to study the citizens' behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
No, that don't make no
That's
sense.
wasteful spending, right?
Yeah, that's wasteful spending. That don't
Right.
make no
So
sense.
that's what this department was created for. To cut.
I am not backing, as what you said. I am not bashing. Sorry, I'm not.
Yes,
bashing.
you are.
No, I am not bashing those type of work. What they are doing, I am not bashing that. What I'm bashing is the foolishness. What the other foolishness what they are doing. For instance, again, let me reiterate. Again, you have these departments where you are sending out. You are trying to cut back on departments that helping the world. You have departments,
Right.
people who are less fortunate.
Right.
Let's even shift that aside. Now let's come home on land base. You have departments, the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, the Pentagon, etc., etc. You are telling these people they have their immediate supervisors, their immediate management. For years they be doing this. Now, why all of a sudden you want to have full control that they reported to you? They have management. If that's the case, you ask their management to have a report pulled from these individuals, and then the manager send that report. You don't have to come on public to do all of this stuff. These are the things I'm talking about. Along with the other stuff where they're cutting back, you again the same one you mentioned about the fish thing. Australia with their homosexual plays and stuff like cut these nonsense out. Israel where they're sending millions of dollars to for what they call it, tourism, but there's nothing coming back here. Egypt, there's nothing coming back here. Cut these stuff out. And these are the things I applaud the administration for. But I'm not gonna sit here and say because I applaud these that they're not doing bad things as well. And that's very simple.
So what's your take on it, Odin?
My take on the whole Doge thing.
Yeah. So the Department of Government Efficiency, it's created to cut wasteful spending. That's what it's created
But
for.
so all right, wasteful spending.
Right. And fraud.
So
Fraudulent spending.
all right, I think like CDC, that's wasteful spending. Guys, them cut that.
I'm asking you, I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, I think like CDC, that's not wasteful spending for me because at least it make you know what happened when diseases are around. So when you cut out something like that, no,
brother over there.
when you cut out something like CDC, right? When all these diseases come, then why not? Everything CDC make you know.
All right. So what's his name? Elon
Mm-hmm.
said they did cut back spending on that department, and then they reinstate it because it's important, right? It's important. Like it's like a group of people, you know, and they gave them the power to, you know, if they think it's wasteful, close the account, um, and then they reviewed it and then they reopened it, right? I think it was like a next department for excuse me, um, Ebola prevention, and they close it and then they reopen it, or reopen the account. Because after thoroughly reviewing it, they said nobody wants Ebola, and they don't want anyone to get Ebola.
All right.
So, yeah.
So, for instance, the people that work with IRS, remember, a lot of them get fired. So why would you fire those people? Why? Yeah, when
So,
you cut
so
funds,
we're using the word fired, but most people got laid off.
laid off.
Right.
Yeah, why
Which-
would you laid off them?
You who like the IRS?
Nobody like the
All
IRS.
right, there you go.
But I mean,
I like the IRS. If you're listening, people of the IRS department.
no, I don't have a problem with them. No, but really and truly, you know, you work, you hard, you earn money still, and then take away your life at the end of the paycheck. And then at the end of the year, when the end of the year come in and get what, nothing still.
No, I mean you brought up the IRS. So
No, but what may I say? Most of the when the other day when I listen to the news, they say that most of the people that work in IRS is laid off, right?
Yeah.
So when I say, why would you lay them off? Well, we don't need that department.
yeah, that's basically what they're saying. So you have a lot of people that are still at home, you know, working from home, who are not doing anything at home, right? And they're being told to report back to the office, and they refuse. Right?
Oh, okay.
So they're saying that you know we live in a advanced technological time, right?
Yeah.
So we can create something that sign us in to make it appear that we're at work from home and sign us out at a certain time.
Sure.
You can actually program your software to do that, or you know your computer to do that. So that's the reason why Elon said, okay, if you work for the government, I need an email saying this is what I do on a daily basis. Get me? So it's really to catch fake employees, or employees who really aren't employees, you know, that are getting paid, if you get what I'm saying. So it's not so much as, okay, Odin, I need you to, you know, detail email of what you do at work daily.
Did Eamon send you that memo telling him that's exactly what?
I mean, they did say it
Who?
in a press conference.
What press conference? The one they created where I'm not aware of.
I mean, I brought something to your attention today that you wasn't aware of also.
What was that?
Zelensky and Trump.
That was something you.
I gotta see.
I swear you're living on over. That was the first thing that came on.
Maybe
Friday.
it said live today then, so.
No, that happened from Friday. It was
What?
blasting all over the news.
You're talking about yesterday. I'm talking about today. When Trump stated that that's what Elon meant, and Elon also.
Oh, you're talking about, okay. At the end of the day, they just making up
At
stuff.
the end of the day is night.
Yes, we're in night now. So they just making up stuff. At the end of the day, they have their motive, and there is no way you have the system in place, right? You have management. You are management. You have your boss and your boss, right? Have you seen in history, in your department or in your facility, where your boss send out a memo saying that you, anyone below you or your boss also need to, or your regular employee who under you, need to report and share what they had done last week and get back to them. If not, if they don't share that, they're going to be fired. That's what you are there for. That's what your management are there for. Your
so
boss
as
are
I said,
there
you know,
for.
like different managers or different managing team, different style of managing, right? We have a new boss, right?
Yeah.
Right? New boss. His style of managing is completely different from what we're used to.
Okay, so
We
like,
have never experienced anything like this before.
so you were saying that his style is in line of what Elon is doing.
I would say so. It's stern.
It's
I,
stern.
I think it's the best I've ever seen. Right? It's the best I've ever seen. My name Raymond Roberts. Big up yourself. Yeah, it's the best I've ever seen. Yes, it's also annoying. You have to answer to what, like 300 emails daily.
True.
We're not used to that. We probably answer like 10. No, this guy sends you 300 emails and you have to respond to all of them.
Who's sending you 300 emails?
Our boss.
So how
And check this out, right? So he's not our direct boss. He's our boss, right? But we have to deal with him. So there's no like skip the chain of command. We have to deal directly with him.
those are fine. Is he threatening you for your job?
Yes.
How?
I mean, he puts it in the
saying
email.
what, that if you don't respond to
Yes,
this email,
yes.
you're gonna get fired?
Corrective actions will be taken.
Yeah, you will be taking. Maybe you're getting. At the end of the day, listen.
You're
You're justifying the foolishness what these guys. As I said before, and from day one, I am a person. I'm not biased. I applaud the current administration of certain things they are doing. I applaud it because some of the some of the spending what they are doing is foolishness. Prior to our government, prior to this government, as what you put it, my government, which is Biden them.
I mean, this is your government too.
This is my government too. At the same time, you report to him. I ain't reported to nobody. Not these guys, at least. At the end of it, but what I'm getting at is this: there has to be certain leadership structure, and I think between Trump and Elon, they have this controlling dictatorship, power oriented.
You just stuck on that. Like we want a strong leader. I'm sorry, we want a strong leader.
A strong leader,
and that's
but
what
not
Donald Trump displays.
Display
Strong
what?
leadership. What do you mean?
Display what?
Strong leadership.
The hypocrisy. You listen. I think you're in the wrong department. I think you need to go and
Odin,
vote for
what do
Doge.
you think? What do you think? I mean, I'm available. You know.
Call up your boys and tell them.
Phone number is 718-555-7777.
Elon. He needs to work with Doge.
Yeah, go
Mr.
ahead.
President, Mr. Trump, your boy right here, loyal.
Go ahead.
Say, what is a loyal citizen?
Yeah, you're loyal citizen.
No. But what problem do you have with the current administration? So far, like, what do you see that you disagree with?
Well, it's most of the how should I put it?
Speak your mind and stop capping. There's a lot of problems. You sit here before we even
Now
get
you
into
cap.
Exactly. No capping. Speak your mind.
It's just the way them what you call it around the country is
You have to understand, no one can fix the economy overnight. I mean, anyone with common
it's gonna
sense
take
knows
time
that.
for them
Agreed.
to fix it,
Right.
but it's just the way them come in strong and most things what them will do.
So our new boss, right?
Uh-huh.
That's not what he's doing. It's the same thing he's doing, right? And
Yeah.
he's making sure the job gets done.
I understand
Right. Daily. Not tomorrow like how we used to do it. In the past.
that, but it's still I
or
get
2
done.
days after.
Still I get done.
Yeah, same day.
I can't say and chime into a certain things, but what I would ask you guys, or ask you specifically, because he's on a different page. Do you see what your new boss is doing is in correlation with what Elon is doing?
I saw it on my paycheck. Yeah. I did, yeah.
Me don't see it by my own.
Well, last week he claimed that Trump is doing a good job because he has this thing called tax on.
But him never
I-
do that.
Huh?
Him not sign a bill for that.
Of course.
So how me get me see me
So
get
you're not getting it.
me get tax for my overtime same way.
Me not see that.
Where?
Me not see that.
You know see that?
No.
Me get tax for my overtime same way.
Wait,
Me
so
no see that.
There's something going on, and
Because
he
because
claimed
we work for the same place. And
so something's up.
even when I did my taxes, I send photos, I send receipt, right?
Uh-huh.
There's also a deduction of I won't say the figure, but a large amount,
2.5.
a large amount that was deducted when I did my tax. So as I said, I send the receipts, but yeah.
So hold on. So if he said no tax on overtime, right?
And no tax and tips.
And no tax on tips, right? So at the end of the year when you file your taxes, you won't be getting back nothing then.
Well,
You might get,
but guess what, Odin? So the amount money that I pay in tax, right? If I don't pay that throughout the year, that's more than what I would get back at the end of the year.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but
So wouldn't
my
that
thing
make
is,
more sense? That would make more sense
but
to
me,
me.
me no see it for my paycheck, brother. Me no know.
Well, there's something's going on.
And you
because
see it this paycheck?
he saw it the last paycheck,
Not last, it's this. It's not the last.
This one.
but you mentioned
You
last
don't
week.
know, huh?
Eh?
No, I'm
I
going by
didn't,
what
I
you
didn't
said.
mention it last week.
When was it? When you mentioned it? Then correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought it was last week.
Nah, I didn't mention that last week. I mentioned that to you yesterday. I think this conversation was
No,
yesterday.
we
yeah.
pull up this record because
yeah.
we were on
I
somehow.
mentioned that yesterday. But before that,
No,
no,
before
listen,
that.
before that, it was tax return after I filed my taxes.
It was sometime last week.
I'll
if
tell-
I'm
I'll
not
show you
mistaken.
after the-
I think
after
we
the
can
Yeah,
pull
I
up.
forgot show me the one them, G. I forgot make me look.
Well,
study
between
that.
he need to show you that.
Yeah,
No,
me
but
want to show me the one
See,
there.
so to answer your question, because you're saying I'm capping, right? So Odin is saying that he didn't see all of what the new boss did, right? He didn't see that. It didn't reflect on his paycheck, right? And I'm telling him that I saw that, and I spoke to other people who work in the same
And them
same
see it too.
company.
You saw for yourself. You didn't see for it then.
Huh?
Or they
No, I
say
never
he-
see for Odin, but I talk to other people and them see it too.
So wonder how Houdin can see his.
I don't know. Maybe we have a different contract. Maybe we have a different contract. Which I do think we have a different contract. Odin, we have a different contract.
Yeah?
We have a
But I
different
mean,
contract.
okay, so
What
here
do you mean?
doesn't make
Huh?
any
What do you
sense.
mean?
What
Even
do I
if
mean?
Houdin
Yeah.
has a different contract, right? Even if you have a different contract, no tax on overtime governs for every single person that works in the U.S. So why Houdin is going to be isolated and you're going to get the benefit? That doesn't make any sense. If
You're correct. But I was talking about something else before that, where the contract was concerned. I was talking about
But
something completely different.
I'm kind of a little bit confused, but if he's working and he's getting his
You
pay,
asked 3 different questions, right? You said I mentioned something about getting a deduction that was just introduced.
no, we were talking about the tax cut. That's basically it. Because that's
Yeah,
the
but
only
tax cut in many different forms. You have he proposed a lot of different tax cut, right?
Well, I'm talking about the one where
Overtime.
right?
Yeah.
That specifically.
Yeah.
So you and O'Dane is working in the same facility. O'Dane hasn't seen that.
No,
tax
we don't
cut.
work in the same facility.
Same practice. You want me to be more specific? Same practice, same entity.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't know. It might see it on the next way.
so I guess he's a higher man. He's up there with Trump style.
When I laugh, I
No,
just say- I just
seriously,
say-
I mean, I gotta check it still, cause I never know, I never see it. But I didn't know. Me know them. Him say he he was gonna do that, but I didn't know it
So
went
then-
in effect.
Look, let's go back on the on track. So if you look on the current management that fall in place for both of you guys, if you evaluate and look on his structure and look on Elon Musk structure and look on President Trump structure, do you see where there's any correlation pertaining to leadership wise and structure?
It's a dictatorship.
No, which one? Which one?
Who is the dictatorship? The new boss?
All of them.
So including new boss?
All of them.
Okay, well, I can't say elaborate on that.
And guess what? I'm a fan of the new boss. I as I said, his style of management, right? His style of managing is different. I'm not used to it. It's annoying. Get me wrong, it's annoying because his thing is everyone should be disciplined.
But that would be fair.
But the thing is,
But that would be fair.
The
I
thing
mean, that's leadership.
the thing
Yeah,
is,
but-
he doesn't
That's
even,
proper
he
leadership.
doesn't even give you time to do what you have to do. You get me? I say.
So he just tell you to
He
do
send
and
it,
you
he
do
send
that.
it there and he expect it right back. That's not how it works. You have to give people time to check
And
out certain
the
things.
difference between him and his experience and my experience is that I experienced it first before
And it
he
trickles
expe-
down to him.
Right. So I was already used to it because he was my boss in we're
used to
located.
be.
Right. So he was my direct boss, right? I know he's my boss. Right.
So my thing is, I mean, again, as what you said before, people have different leadership, different practice and stuff like that. Now, we are looking at the guidelines how this current leadership, government leadership, operates in conjunction to your boss leadership. Now, as I just said, you may annoyed by it, but you like it. I probably would like it to based on
I mean, he's good. He's
based
the
on
best
because
I've
he's
ever
gonna get
seen.
things done and he's gonna filter out certain things that's happening there. Would I like it? I mean, as I said, probably would be annoying, just like how Mike said it's annoying. But at the same time, if it's gonna create as a manager, if it's gonna create a better lenience for me, a better management for me to run the department efficiently, yeah, I'm all for it. Even though it's annoying, because now it gives me leadway where I can manage properly. I can alleviate some of my pressure, what's on me, based on his structure, what he put in place. So I probably, even though I may be crying, but at the same time, it's helping me where I probably go home earlier this time. I mean, work, instead of finish at 6, 7 o'clock, I'm finishing at 5 now and stuff like that. So, I mean,
No, it's actually longer working hours though.
longer work.
A longer working day. Yeah. So
As the more you pressure them people, them, you will get the pressure and you pressure the people.
that's how it works, right?
Double problem.
Trickle down.
So you get the pressure. I mean, that's standard in the corporate world or in just business wise. It's
I
standard.
always say let current flow, right?
Let the current flow.
Yeah.
But if the
resist
current
the flow
is-
of current, you'll get shot. So let current flow. Cause we're conductors, so you have the what you call him, the master, and in between the master,
You have the breaker.
and then you have the masses, right? So let current flow.
But you have you have the breaker too. You can cut current.
Yeah, I mean I try to cut the current.
Stop the current. Stop the flow of current.
Yeah, but the economy can be fixed overnight. So that's what people are looking for from this Trump administration. It's not gonna happen. Just think about it.
Listen, you can't have them overnight, and the way the whole thing is, it's never gonna fix.
The sad part is
It
that
can-
Yo, they save a lot of money already. Like they save. Let's see, they saved
they saved close to $1 trillion already.
yeah.
So
over that.
probably over.
Yeah, And what? This is what? The second month.
I mean, they doing a lot of cleanup. And as I said before,
What's our debt? It's
I
like
think we were at 6.5 trillion.
nah, 6.5, probably more than that.
Maybe it could be. The last time
Right.
I checked.
So if they save,
So America have debt.
let him explain that to you. Perfect guy to explain that to you.
Eh? Oh,
Because
America have
I
debt.
always thought that the federal government and waiting in the government is one. You know, I thought
Is
that
that the Federal Reserve you're talking about?
yes, the Federal Reserve is not owned by the federal government.
No, it's not. We discussed this already.
Okay, so explain to the viewers.
It's gonna be a little bit complex. I mean, didn't they send you the video? Remember the video I sent you
need
pertaining
you
to
explain it to the
the federal.
right, it's not everything I
So
hear,
hold
I
on.
believe.
So you're trying to say the Federal Reserve is not owned by the federal?
The government is a part of it, but they're not owned by it. It's gonna take a long issues to explain this. It's complicated. Put it that way.
we have
It's
time.
it's not
We have
something
time.
where
We
I
have
can say
time.
A, B, C, and it's done, and you understand it.
Try to sum it up. We have time.
Another time. Here's the thing. All of this movement right now, where the current government is doing. One, I think society helped put him in power because of
I did.
the promise what he made to provide more funds. Even my best friend, one of my best friend, he voted for him because he owned businesses and he want back that financial funds. The sad part of this, and I'm not sure why, again, slowly but slowly people started seeing it. The economy is not going to be better. This government going to be in power for the next 4 years, and you're not going to see any changes. What you're going to see, it's going to change for the worse. Mark my word. This is not a guessing game.
No, I mean, tell us what do you see in that we call that ball the fortune ball?
Hold on. Let me get it.
Yeah, tell us what you see in it.
You see, this has to do.
We say cool.
No, tell us. I would love to hear why you made that statement.
Well, that means me. Enough people are saying it's gonna be 4 years. What a misery. I don't know.
Look, last administration was 4 years out.
Let's see. Cause
Worth
none of
of
them
misery.
none of them don't
The
make no
last
sense.
administration, it was 4 years. The economy was a little bit better. I mean, it was fluctuated. It was a fluctuation. But overall, I would say at least 95%, it was horrible. I mean, there was a list.
95%.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. I mean,
It was
I would say when they came in,
So all Trump have to do is
do what?
10% better, and he'll do better than.
But
the
that's
last
not going to happen
administration.
because these guys are for themselves. Now, you think that
That's your personal belief, right? That's how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have no evidence. I can't read his mind and saying that this is what he's going to do. But my personal feeling or my observation, I think these guys, they are demonstrating it, number one, that they all for themselves. They're making these things cuts for billionaires. Look on Elon. When these guys were running, right, in the election, he made promise to give out, millions of dollars for people to vote for Donald Trump. You're aware of that?
Millions of dollars?
Yes.
No?
Okay, see? I like send you facts. And this was within the election time. A day before election and within election, he made this vow. And he said, you vote for Trump, matter of fact, he put a couple millions aside to offer for people who he wants to vote for Trump, and he will give them thousands of dollars.
So it's not millions anymore, it's thousands now?
Well, whatever he isolated, it comes up to millions because that's what he put aside. So, I mean, it's going to be millions because if you're giving 400,000, 500,000 there.
The government was offering you $100 to get a COVID shot.
Who take it? Did you?
No.
Exactly.
No.
$100 for quote for kill yourself.
$100 to kill yourself. My thing is, I mean, why I'm also saying this, that the economy is not going to be better. I'm going to go somewhere.
Not COVID shot. Let me take that. Not COVID shot. The vaccine. The vaccine shot, not COVID
The
shot.
bleach shot. What
Yeah.
Trump
Correction. The vaccine shot, not COVID shot.
The bleach, what Trump want you to put in your body. I can't understand this guy.
Yo.
He sat literally. I still can't comprehend it.
Yeah, we're past that, man. Want you explain to me why you feel like things are gonna be worse beneath this administration?
So there's an avenue where I am going to go, which you're not going to like, and you're not going to want to hear it. And this is one of the things why I'm confident that
I want to hear it.
the economy is not going to get any better. Even the next administration coming, it's not. It's coming from a spiritual realm. These are the things.
Me nobody want to hear.
You see? So this is a part of it. But other than the spiritual realm,
No, because you're telling me about your religious belief and what
it's
you
not a
think.
religious belief. It's right there in your book, what you used to read, where you used to be a pastor and deacon and elder. You.
Anyway. But no, share with the people, because I know they want to hear.
Want to hear what?
Whatever you have to say about why you think things is going to be
It's
worse under this administration.
Yes, the issue is that our society today, I mean, for those who may have some type of a belief in God, spiritually, at the end of the day, the economy, when it comes to growth, it's not going to happen because of the issues what the Bible also predict that is coming. I don't really, it's not a really, even though it's an open forum, but I don't really want to drift too far. I would want to leave
What the Bible say when
politics.
you see, what the Bible say when you see these times, you should look to God.
No, the Revelation talks about the ending
ending
of time.
of time.
Right. These money, the values of money. Look on the US dollar. Let's come back a little bit. Look on the US dollar. US dollar is weakening little by little. Euros, right, that came into picture a couple decades ago, is more stronger than the US dollar. The dollar now in China is a little bit less than what it used to be. Worldwide, the US dollar is falling. If you go on your report, which is Forbes, or your stock chain, you should see that. I shouldn't have to tell you that.
So we should,
And I'm not involved in those type of market. I am planning to go in there soon, but at the end of the day, you should see that the US dollar is falling little by little. Overall, the value of the dollar, not just the US dollar, it's not going to have any values anymore. You're going to be walking on it like you're walking on the tree leaves outside. That's the level where we're going. Now, put in things in context with this Trump administration, how they're managing and running the country. They're all for themselves. You and I, the local common people, mid-class, medium class, or lower class, are not going to see the benefit what he and the policy what he's putting in place for the country. The only person
we're not going to see it.
No, we're not. No, the only person. Let me
It's not gonna
rephrase.
be available to
Let me
the public,
let me
right?
rephrase. The only person that would benefit from these things is the rich.
Rich benefit regardless. It doesn't
They
matter
would
who's
benefit
in power.
more. But you're talking about
The rich.
medium class, the middle class,
And if
and
you
the
want
low
to go
class.
back to the book, it
Which book?
said the rich is gonna be richer,
And the
Richer,
poor will be poorer.
right?
Yeah.
So the
Right.
rich is always gonna benefit.
But at the same time, even though the rich would be benefit, but I'm saying at the same time, they're gonna triple benefit based on certain leadership. That if I'm all right, let's put it this way: if I'm in power or in management or running a company, right now, I used to make $5 million a year, right? Now I come in power or come in to manage a company, and I see that if the rich always want more, right? And they're never satisfied, right? So
no, I don't know that.
you don't know that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so based on what is out there, based on what I see and what I've heard and what I've witnessed and what I've read, the rich, I mean, we don't have to go to rich, because when you look on ourselves as an example, if we make a little $5 or $2, we want more of that $5, right? We want another $2 or one. It's common human tendency. We want a little bit more, right? So if I'm sitting there and I can say, oh, you know what, I'm making 5 million, and I'm already wealthy, and I see that I can create a loophole for me to make 10 more. Do you think I'm not gonna create a structure for me to make that 10 million? You think I'm gonna give a rat behind that the lower class or the middle class?
It's not all about the money for some people, because the president, the I don't know if they refer to them as the president or the prime minister of Iran or Iran.
Iraq and Iran.
Iran, right? So he was the president, and he was like a stern president over there, or the prime minister. And after his term, he went back to being a farmer and gave away all he made when he was in office to the poor. So and he's a teacher, he's a lecturer, right? And he teaches like a real office, right? A real leader. he said a real leader live amongst the poor and give back to the poor if they're really for the poor. I mean, it's not everyone who's like really going for this money thing. Some people have so much money they can't even spend the money. Like Mr. Beast, right? You know Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast said he only has like $1 million in his account. Everything is invested, right?
Well, he's
tied up in investment.
He has financial issues right now.
He's having financial issues? I don't know. Why?
He's having financial issues right now because his funds are not flowing how it should flow. And one of the things that he also calling for investors to buy inside of some of his practices, like his businesses, to get funds to flow.
They did offer him some money, so how much they offered him? Like $2 billion? And he said he think his company is worth 10 or 20.
Well, if he didn't, since he didn't take it right now, he's kind of crying out loud now for investors to come invest into his company.
He said that?
Yeah, I mean it was on the news.
But anyway, I'm glad we have a strong president, right? One who have common sense, right?
I don't
and
think
one who is for the country, and is not looking to police and aid the world. Get me? The guy said this guy doesn't have a plan to end the war. Like, what's your plan? You don't have a plan. You just want to keep receiving funds from the U.S. government, billions and billions and billions of dollars. People, it's a real war, As I said, it's not affecting us.
Of course it's affecting us.
No, directly or physically it's not affecting us, right? People are really dying.
Okay, rephrase when you said it's not affecting us directly.
Right, like we're not here worrying about
missiles are dropping.
Yeah.
Okay, we understand that concept, but we are affecting.
So, but when someone's life is being taken, it's a serious issue. So what the president suggests is come to an agreement with your adversaries. Come to an agreement. Cease fire, because President Putin wants a ceasefire. President Trump wants a ceasefire. Our former President Joe Biden did not want a ceasefire.
He wanted it, but he didn't emphasize it that like how Trump would emphasize it or push on it like how Trump is pushing on it. The thing is,
why not?
I have no idea. I have to ask the Most High that. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe they have some motive where, remember, every time there's a war, there's money being made, right? Whether it's from the president, from the administration,
always Donald Trump administration corrupt. Why you keep saying that what they're doing is corrupt and they're trying to get rich? They're trying to fill their own pockets. That's what you keep saying,
Of course they're trying to fill their own pockets. So where did you see I contradict
I
myself?
I feel like if they're trying to fill their own pockets, they would continue sending more money to Ukraine.
No, because they're
And
not benefiting from it directly because Ukraine is benefiting. I bet you if they find a
what do you
loophole,
do with that billions of dollars going to Ukraine?
that's going to Ukraine.
Let me share something with you, right? 80, right? There was an earthquake in 80 back in what, 2010 or so? You remember that?
I remember there. I mean, I can't remember what year.
George Bush was the
2000,
president
yeah,
at the
So
time.
there was probably 2000. Yeah.
So George Bush, who was a Republican, and Bill Clinton was a Democrat, right?
Mhm.
And they said these people don't get along, but when the country was struck by the earthquake, both of them came on national TV to collect $20 as a donation for the country, and they received billions of dollars. Where did that go?
Who? Trump? Not Trump. I have Trump so much in my head. Clinton and Bush.
Yeah,
They received billions of dollars.
yeah.
Well, that show you the corruption. That just show you the corruption. So
So
I
they
mean,
rob
it
the
was
American
two
people again.
different party right there now.
and they receive billions, and you have no
Right.
They
idea
split
where
the
they
billions between two of
split
them.
it. I get.
So
but that's what I
why you
mentioned
think it
before.
would be so? Why you think it would be hard for Trump administration to figure out a loophole of sending some capital to their own pockets?
Well, they may figure it out, but then it's not publicized yet. I mean, at the end of the until they
Come on, man. The man really wants to get back to business and stop this nonsense about war and
the war.
Sending
Number
money
one
here
is
and
it
sending
shouldn't started from number. That's number one. And the thing is, Russia. One other thing, Russia. Why this war started, to my recollection, is that Russia want back their land, and
give it to them.
but that's not what Polanski is doing. He wants to fight because he think the U.S. is not a thing. He knows that
He
U.S.
needs,
was
if he wants to fight, he needs to get a firearm and go fight.
well, that's what they
You're sending people to go unalive themselves. You go fight.
just like how this government sent people to war in Iraq and the Desert Storm and so forth. Why did the president go fight for themselves too?
So hold on.
Yes,
The la-
but everyone else wants a ceasefire. Go ahead.
So the land was for Russia.
Yes.
Yes,
The land that they fighting for.
correct.
Yes.
So why not just give it back to them? And just
Because,
seize the
because big bad
Zelensky.
big bad America was their backing
Oh yeah,
But-
yeah.
financially and with advice. Cause you're fighting a war. What you need? They need manpower.
But all these times, why I know now fight for the land? It don't make no sense.
All right, so there was talk circulating that Ukraine wanted to be a part of NATO. So
oh yeah, NATO. Yeah.
right, so Russia wasn't having that,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why the invasion took place. Not saying Russia is right for doing that, you know. Get me? I feel like these things can take place off camera, you know, in suits and jacket and tie, a conversation, and we agree. So I'm saying,
True.
so
The thing is, if Ukraine had signed up to go into to NATO, now early on, as what Mike did mention, I think off camera, is that U.S. would have to engage, right? Because they are part of the NATO structure, and guess what that would lead up to now? That's World War III. So, in that sense, I can applaud them if in that capacity where U.S. are is trying to prevent this from happening.
True.
I can applaud them for that. Now, other than that, at the end of the day, I did not see where it make any sense to send, and this is one of the things where I come back to the leadership of this country, whether it's Trump, whether it's Biden, whether it's Barack, because he done a lot of foolishness too. I rate him as a good president, but he done a lot of foolishness as well. So my thing is that if the U.S. always trying to take this shoulder on the world for like they are the god of the entire universe.
We are.
You see? And so because of that poor knowledge, not even poor knowledge, but because of that poor leadership and their poor intellect,
True.
they go in now and they create problems. Listen, if I was in that situation as a leader or as a power, I sit down and say, here's the thing. We have a situation here what we have to deal with for decades, for probably centuries is going on. The homelessness, the poverty and stuff like that. I want to help. I like helping people. But at the same time, I have to apply wisdom. Now, if I'm in that position, here what I would do. Here what I would have done. I would have said, all right, England, do me a favor. Australia, do me a favor. Dubai, do me a favor. We have these issues going on worldwide. China, do me a favor. I'm going to give 1 billion. You offer 1 billion. You offer $1 billion. You offer $1 billion. And we send it over to Ukraine to help them out to figure out this thing. What U.S. want to do for whatever bad, big bag, bully, strong, whatever the case may, shoulder this weight of financial burden to send
remember,
$40 billion or what?
Certain world leaders sided with Putin. They agreed with him. They're like, okay, it's his land. Let's take it back. And Odin said earlier, why no? There was talk going around that they wanted to be a part of NATO, or they wanted to join NATO.
Mm-hmm.
So China didn't agree with that. China sided with Russia.
But again,
even Dubai and all of them sided with Russia. Most of the people them sided with Russia. Remember, people are not so much fan of America.
But you claim,
I love America.
Yeah, I'm here too. But at the same time, I wouldn't use the word love.
I love America.
I wouldn't use the word love because
I love Jamaica. I love America.
Hold on, I'm not too familiar with this NATO business. What is?
So NATO,
so it's like an alliance, It's like
with the brick. What do I try to change the dollars?
No. So NATO is like we're allies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you come from Tivoli, me come from Spanish Town, him come from Mobile, and we form an alliance.
Okay.
Right? And we say, okay, if anyone attacks you,
yeah. I understand.
They have to war with us
Mm-hmm.
also, right?
Okay.
you also paying us to help protect you.
Oh, okay.
Just
I mean, it's like a bank account and all of
So
us.
it's like a partner.
Right.
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
I
if
understand.
Ukraine was a part of
NATO.
they wouldn't have no choice but to engage in the war, directly. They have to send troops and everyone, and that would cost
World War III, pretty much.
I understand.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So what President Trump is saying, and I applaud President Trump for this, he's saying that we don't have time for this war nonsense because people are really losing their life. Put an end to it. We're not going to fund you anymore. Get me? Because you're only doing this because we're somewhat behind you, right? Why for the behind? Somewhat behind you.
Come down, come down.
It's like a big brother,
Yeah.
And you're standing there and the bully is in front, but he's not really doing too much because the big brother is there, right? So that's what he's saying. And
Let me ask you a question. What from your leadership mindset, what do you see? Where do you see a solution? How would you go about resolving this problem?
give back Russia.
But them land.
Yeah.
Give up Russia
No.
the land and the war over with.
Yeah, but if that's not the case, how would you resolve it from this other side? Let's say,
the president.
yeah,
of
you the
America.
president, no, and
Exactly what Donald Trump is doing. He's saying, listen, so he's saying if you give us 50% of no, we have a say, right? And
50% of what?
Ukraine are the minerals in Ukraine. So I guess that's the land,
So in sense, he has to. If that's the case, that means somewhere down the line, your U.S. has to engage. If that's the case,
So U.S. contractors are gonna be there, right? What you call it now? U.S. contractors will be there working in Ukraine. So what he's saying is that this is your protection. Russia is not gonna fire on American contractors. If they do, they would have to answer to us.
who is the U.S. to Russia?
Who is what?
Who's the U.S. to Russia? You think Russia give a rat's ass who's over there? Or
Yeah,
not?
but
You
guess
think-
what now? Donald Trump, it would give him more say, and he would be able to say, listen, President Putin, you take this, which belongs to them anyway. You take this, and
You call it a day.
we'll call it a day.
Okay. Well, that probably could have worked too. I mean,
And he said, okay, if you don't need us, because President Zelensky is acting like he doesn't need the U.S. The only thing he needs is funding, right? He said, okay, if we don't need us, then you should be able to strike a deal with President Putin. And let's see how that works out for you, because we're not going to back you anymore. Period.
I'm looking at this thing, and I looked at it from.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. Just agree, stop the war, people stop dying.
I strongly think that there is something deeper that lies between this, that lies under the surface. And here's my conspiracy theories, right? So if you look on, there's no way Ukraine is it's a match for Russia.
I agree. I mean,
No way.
everybody knows that.
How long this war is dragging out for? Almost 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the U.S. is giving $40 billion every month or every quarter
Or more.
or more to Ukraine, right? And Russia is still dragging this thing out, which Russia could wipe these guys off the planet like they never
Yeah,
existed
so
before.
so they're doing
Right.
enough so that they don't lose the war, but not enough for them to win it. That's what the last administration has been doing.
So
If they really wanted Ukraine to win the war, they would have sent troops and weapons.
the U.S.?
Yeah.
But if they do that again, that's World War III. There's no way that's what's going to
That's-
happen.
so that's what
and
I'm
the U.S.
saying.
has no match to Russia.
and that's what President Trump is saying. This is I forgot the term that he used, but he's saying this is a waste of time. Your people are dying. Your people are dying. So let's come up with a solution, or this is a solution. Have an agreement with President Putin. 'Cause President Putin said he wanted a ceasefire. Donald Trump said it's because President Putin respects him. He didn't respect the last administration. They're saying that Trump is a fan of Putin, but what he's saying is that Trump respects him. Huh?
Trump respects Putin.
I mean, Putin respects
Respects
Trump.
Trump.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of see eye to eye. I would say they're strong leaders.
I say I agree to a certain extent, where they like each other because they have still the same strong will, right? So they like each other, but at the same time, I would say half and half. They don't see eye to eye. They go at each other at times. Even the last time when Trump was in power, he made an attempt to try to threaten Putin, and Putin says, "If you ever think that you're," I forgot the
I
language.
don't
what he-
remember that. I know they got along to the point where people were saying that Putin interfered in the election, and that's the reason why Donald Trump won.
Yeah, but I think they had a conflict. They had something. where I think he
Yeah,
said
there was a
something
conflict
and,
they
yeah,
had. This was in when they were
when Trump was
when
in.
Trump was in power. I think it was 21 or 22.
I know the
Not-
Chinese government, but
not
I don't know
21,
about
yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah,
but what do you think the solution is? Like, what do you see?
to stop the war.
Yeah,
Just give them back the land. Simple. Just give them back the land and stop the war and make everybody just live. You
and
know?
President Putin wants that. He wants
just-
that.
Well, that's what he wanted from day one. But again,
Sometimes you have to give up your
the,
right for
um,
peace sake. You know, just,
again-
just give them back your land and just seize the war.
sometimes people have
How dumb
ego.
can you be? You
You
have
know,
the people them are dead. Just
my
innocent.
thing is
You're gonna tell the US that, oh, this will happen to you too. This will President Zelensky said to Trump, this is gonna happen to you too. Not because it's not happening now. It's gonna happen to you too.
and he's correct.
Mike, you want to
He is
No,
So
correct.
what do you think the solution is for this?
I cannot foresee a solution right now. The only solution, well,
I mean, you know, they just
My
say
solution is
I
just
think
just
for
just give
them
up.
to, I mean, but so Ukraine give back the land, okay? War stop, cease, and whatever the case may be. The possibility is something else gonna come up. What Russia
You will
wants,
live for fight
or
another
whatever
day.
the case may
yeah.
be.
When it appears, then we'll discuss that.
Yeah, you will
But
live
for
for
now,
fight another day.
right?
What I think is going on, as I said before, let me finish the theory. What I think is, because again,
It's a spiritual warfare.
Russia is smart. Russia know what they're doing. What they're trying to do, they're trying to belly up the U.S. Let me explain. You're giving $40 billion a quarter or every month, or $60 billion. You keep on dumping that in. Now, the economy here is not doing too well, right? But yet you're finding 40, 50, 60 billion dollars of dumping in to help another country. Eventually, over time, yourself financially is going to start struggling and falling. When you reach to that level, once you're financially weakened,
You kind of think like Elon, though.
Yeah, Elon, brother.
No, but that's the same. That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying that it's waste of funds. It's waste of funds, and
Most definitely.
he's saying that the money is not really going to Ukraine. All that money is not really going to Ukraine.
where it's going and it's circling back
No,
to the U.S.
what is the money
pockets.
being spent on? Yes, what is the money being spent on? Ammunitions.
But the U.S. is giving them ammunitions. And
Oh,
which
yeah.
also Russia threatened them and says, if you bring back any weapons over here and give Ukraine, and I think this is where the money was upgraded for them to now to buy weapons from different countries, because Russia threatened them and says, if you give them one more weapon, a specific weapon, if you give them one more of this specific weapon, you're not gonna like it. Why you think Russia sent one of those sub in where what's the name there off Jamaica there, beside Jamaica?
What, Cuba.
Cuba. There was a Russia submarine that was spotted
Oh yeah, just the other day.
surfing, which they're also planning to set up nuclear missile launching pads right in where they're now in Russia is all together.
You say that we say what?
The point of what Russia is trying to
No,
do.
we're talking about the solution. What do you see the solution looking like?
The
What do
solution what we can agree on is Ukraine humble and give back Russia.
There you
part
go,
of
and
it.
that's all the
But that's
president
not
is
going to
saying.
happen.
Why not?
It's not going to
Why
happen
not?
because
Well,
of
it's
the
not
president, the
gonna-
prime minister is there. It's not
Okay,
gonna happen.
and just like what you said, right? And Odin and all three of us agreed with President Donald Trump. All of us are agreeing with the president or the current administration. So he said, this is what is gonna happen. You're gonna have to fight your own war. We're not funding you anymore, and let's see how that works out for you. To President Zelensky, and he kicked him out the White House.
Well, that battle. It's not, if you didn't see it, you can go on YouTube. It was It was
Yeah, they were supposed to have like a press conference, and they were supposed to have lunch, and none of that happened.
The two of them was fighting like the cat and dog, pretty much.
And,
Literally.
and
Well,
he
not literally, but
initiated
verbally.
that. President Zelensky initiated that because he didn't like the agreement. Off camera, he didn't like the agreement, but that's not how you behave on camera.
But either way, America is greedy too. Why you gonna want some of my man minerals? Just leave it alone.
All right, here we go.
That's
now.
another greedy
but
thing.
No, but check this out now. What he really wants, right, is for the war to end.
Yeah, but not saying you want a fight. Just leave it alone.
No,
All
I would
right,
agree
so
if they want for them
There's
to take.
two options. Two options. Speak with the president of Russia and come up with a solution. And we already know what that is, right? Because what's his name? President Putin put it out there, right? We want back our land, and we're gonna have a ceasefire. War is over. So that's option A. And President Donald Trump is encouraging option A, right? President Zelensky doesn't want that. So he said, okay, option B is you give us half of the natural resources in your country, which is like half of the land. So that's option B. And he came to the White House to sign off on an agreement on option B.
I don't understand.
You get it? So he really doesn't want it. And he also mentioned that if they gave us the land, we already paid for it. We already paid for it. $300 and something billion.
Just seize the war. Just give back Russia the land and the war will be over.
Closer to the microphone.
No, just give back the land and the war will be over. If that's where Russia really want.
The
Because if
thing
you
is,
put it out there and say just give us back the land.
I don't understand why even Russia initiate this thing for land base, because Russia is the only country has the biggest land mass in the entire world.
No, it was because of the talk, the NATO talk. Ukraine joining the NATO. So it would be like,
Remember, Russia don't really like America.
I agree. Yeah, I mean that
this
world
virgin and me and Mike and a virgin, and yeah, Mike and never virgin, right? But no, you want team up with Mike. I go pre you, right?
True, that's true.
And I'm not gonna want to be your friend anymore.
That's true.
Right? So that's exactly what it is. I would think that you know that this guy is my enemy. And he's this close.
I think
and you're plotting with him.
Yeah, I think it was the land recapturing came in first before NATO plan came in. NATO came in the mix.
Yeah. But either way, the war should have never took place. It should have never.
And that's what I'm saying. Why is it Russia, they have the biggest landmass place in the entire world when it comes to all these 93 countries.
Where is it? Venezuela, which is closer to Guyana. Venezuela? Yeah. So you know that they found like oil in Guyana and stuff like that, right? So Venezuela is saying, yo, that's their land and they want it back. Which it is their land and they have proof.
How?
Huh?
What kind of proof?
What land they want back?
What land? It's just like Jamaica, you have the Maroon Town, whatever, and then so they have documents stating that this belongs to them, and the government,
Another war coming again, right?
What in Jamaica? No, that's
no. I'm not talking about
time.
Jamaica, but
no. They're not trying to war because they have like real proof and evidence that this.
But that doesn't matter.
And the next thing, right? They have the backing of the U.S. because I think their country is sitting on the biggest oil reserve you call it, underneath the ground, right? In the entire world.
But
why the U.S. didn't
No, so all right. So Trump is a deal maker. He's saying, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna provide you with equipment and everything that you need to harness that oil, and we'll get like a percentage, and you get a percentage.
So I told you from day one, right?
Right. I mean, they didn't know. They didn't know.
But
But now they found out and they striking a deal
that's
to
what me I
make
say.
money.
Yeah. So and a business, how business running.
Okay, yeah, and that is understandable. But again, coming back to the point where we're making,
Every country does it. Jamaica do it. You know, you have an agreement with the Chinese contractors or the Chinese government. You build roads. There's an agreement. Okay, the government gets this, and the Chinese gets this. So, nothing new. Business, regular business. War is bad for business unless you're selling.
It's bad for business, but it's bad
war
for
equipment.
Precisely. That's why I was saying revise that
Lockheed
because
Martin or one of those companies.
those businesses who making weapons is not bad. Matter of fact, that's what they need, war. And I think they also was the one that, let me with 9/11.
Yeah. Don't say
Let-
too
let's-
much.
We'll
Yeah.
leave that alone for now. But it is a money making, and I will not would follow or support any businessman to become the president of this country or any country. Putting a businessman.
But America is a business, though.
What do you mean America is a business?
It is a
America has business.
So why do we have
inside
a president? In every company, you have a president and a CEO. You have a president.
every country has a prime minister or a leader. Well, let's put it this way: a leader, a main leader. Every country, right? Does it mean that it has to be a business? No. If you have people who needs to govern and to put things in order. I don't want to go back there with him, but if we go back in history in the Bible, we have leadership from the top right to up to this time, right? It started from then. We have leaderships, people. You have the king, you have queens, you have generals and stuff like that. You have these things in place. Does that mean they are business? No.
So what?
Having these people is
What
that
is it?
they may have a stronger will than you and I, who how to manage or how not to allow our intellect to collide with our emotions. To separate principles from ethics.
Would you say that about Prince Charles? Charles, that's his name.
What's in
That he's very intellect and he has a way of managing things and stuff like that. Would you say that about him?
I can't say and I can't write it in stone, but I mean the
What
concept.
about before him? Queen, what's her name? Queen
Elizabeth. I mean, I think there were dictatorships. I mean, these guys were still dictators. I mean, at the end of the day.
But you have a prime minister of the country, though.
Yeah, I mean, again, look at it this way.
So the prime minister is who?
look and
The CEO.
the prime minister. The prime minister is the leader of the country. I mean, whether it's just the president or however they label it.
You know, the government
is the
is strongly involved in businesses, right? In the
They're
country.
involved in businesses, but it doesn't mean that you need a business head to run. You have to separate. This is where the separation.
So what do you need? What do you need?
You need. A lot of people is not really trusting them in it, but you need somebody who needs to practice real politics to run this country.
What is politics?
Politics is basically how to manipulate, how to manage, how to work. It doesn't necessarily, it sounds like that's a business leader, right? Sounds like a CEO. But that's not, because a CEO now is going to run the country based on his edict, based on his wanting, based on him making stuff for himself.
What's best for the company? What's best for the company?
Yeah, what's best for the company so he can make stuff for himself. So he's doing it because if the company make this, he makes that. Now, a real politician and a truly politician is doing it for the people, you and I. He's running the country so you and I can be beneficial, not them that sits in the pinnacle.
And that's President Donald Trump.
Oh gosh, here we go. I think you should run for a job up there. That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Yes, people. Anything? Any closing, Mike?
You don't have no closing, really? Anyway, folks, here's my thing. It is very sad, and don't use this as a saying, or that we can't still try to make a difference. But we are not going to see any improvement to a whole lot. We're not going to see that. There's war coming, and they use the word war, meaning it's financial war coming.
Why
our
never
way.
go into politics?
I thought about it, but at the same time,
Not too late.
it's
Yeah, it's not too late.
Not too late.
it's
Could
too
start off
it's
local,
too
on the local level.
it's too
I'll
stressful.
campaign for you.
You campaign for me?
Yeah.
Running an excellent.
A matter of fact, I made me contact my boy
No,
Donald.
but I have to get paid doing it. Me not get paid, me not do it. Like me have to get serious.
Yeah,
man.
get paid. Right, so I started pulling strings once. You turn on Elon Musk and put me in power. Yes, people.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, and hopefully this is was entertaining and educational for you. We are learning. If you have heard we said something that is incorrect, please feel free to share with us, comment, and online, and provide facts for us, so we can clarify that. But again, we were sharing our opinions, our thoughts, and so forth. And long story short, we are here to provide these information for you to discuss things. You feel free, you can chime in. As I said, we have an email, which is thegaragestu@gmail.com. Our phone number, forgot it right off the back. But it's in our link right now. If you're watching, is in our link. It's 718. I don't want to share misinformation, but it's there in our link right now.
So the phone number is 718-690-8063.
You can call, leave a message, and share with us. As a matter of fact, you can call and help us create shows. I mean, if you have a topic which you think you want to hear or you want us to discuss,
Yes, tell us what you want to hear,
tell us what
and
you
we'll
want to
talk
hear.
about it.
Yeah, definitely. We would like to hear. We would like to get you guys involved. We would like you chime in and be on the panel with us, even though you may not physically here, but share with us. Please share, subscribe, spread it. We are looking for your help to grow this channel. We are looking for your support to grow this channel. So we cannot do it without you. We cannot. We depend on you. So please spread it. Please share it. Again, if you want us to talk about something, share it with us. And I hope that you would listen to us and spread the word. Over to Mr.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Invite President
Peace,
Trump.
peace,
Mr.
Yeah,
President
wait,
Trump.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. President Trump, please come. Matter of fact, let his boy invite him.
Yeah, but I do think the president is doing a good job, though. Yes, so thank you guys for tuning in to our next episode of the Garage podcast. Thank you.
Peace out.